Yo, check, check, check. What's the word? What's the word, man? We gonna call this the first episode. This definitely not first time recording this, but you feel me, it is what it is. Um Plausible deniability, you know what I mean? Hopefully you know what that phrase means, you feel me? A little background on that. Um yeah, man. This like a kind of just I guess a getting to know each other session to start off with, you know what I mean? Give y'all a little bit of background on me, maybe. Uh, Definitely don't trip on the format. How we doing this right here? I'm trying to like work my way through this thing. It's not really I got a background in audio. You feel me? Recording that type of thing, but definitely not the podcasting. So y'all just forgive me, bear with me just a little bit here. You feel me? We gonna work some things out. You feel me? The format of this whole situation may change at some point, but let's go ahead and get started without further ado. I don't know, man. You feel me? I like to do my research. You feel me on things when I hear new things, new phrases, new topics. You know what I mean? That type of stuff. I like to see what I could figure out. You feel me? Let's see what pop up on this. Pop right up. So y'all know, man. Wikipedia. You feel me? That's It's a whole lot of gang business going on there. You feel me? So you got to take everything you see on there with a grain of salt. You feel me? And I feel like that's just like a lot of things, you know, in life in general, where it'll come out something a company, you know, an invention, what have you. It'll come out. And the person initially behind it will have certain intentions, and at a certain point in time something to be, you know, things to change hands for whatever reason, you know. So financial reasons, or for lack of a better phrase, you know, people getting pressured, you know, that type of thing. It'd be a whole lot of pressure out here, you feel me? All kind of different pressure, peer pressure, all kind of business pressure, all kind of different pressure out here, you feel me? So I feel like, you know, certain times things come out, businesses come out, websites, what have you, will come out, and at a certain point in time, you know, ownership changes hands. And I'm personally of the belief, you know, when the ownership of just about every company changes hands, especially when it's something that's not mentioned, you know, to the public or to the user base of that product or that business, the consumers of that business, you know, that type of thing. It's usually a reason things get hidden. Me personally, you know, that's what I believe. So I say all that to say, you know, what we see on Wikipedia, obviously it's gonna be people are to believe, oh, you can't use that for proof. You can't use that for, you know what I mean? And you know, I tend to agree with that these days, but I also do remember, you know, the early internet days, and before this particular website was ran the way it's ran. And this is kind of I guess it's the overall theme of this podcast, this show, whatever it is you want to call it that we doing here, plausible deniability, you know what I mean? It's the overall theme is you take things how you want to take it, you know. So definition here, let's see what they talking about. And they they wilding to me with all of the stuff that, you know, this particular website that will not be named at the moment is doing. You know, they doing a lot of extra stuff right now. All right, so their definition: plausible deniability is the ability of people typically senior officials in a formal or informal chain of command, to deny knowledge of or responsibility for actions committed by or on behalf of members of their organizational hierarchy. This is very to the point, in my opinion, for this particular website, But, this is kind of a part of what we're reading here. This definition, this is a part of an example of this phrase, in my opinion, where, senior officials in formal or informal chains of command, that they'll throw you some, they'll throw some bait out there for you, they'll throw something for somebody like me to bite onto, and it tastes good, it sound good, and then it is typically a whole lot of as the political people say, it'd be a nothing burger, all the rest of this, you know what I mean? It's a whole lot of, it's not gonna fill you up. This not gonna really give you something that will sustain you, if that make any sense. You feel me? This is like a this part right here is, again, it gets the people going, like that one song. You feel me? Plausible deniability is the ability of people, typically senior officials in a formal or informal chain of command, to deny knowledge of or responsibility for actions committed by or on behalf of members of their organizational hierarchy. Says they may do so because of a lack or absence of evidence that can confirm their participation, even if they were personally involved in or at least willfully ignorant of the actions. Let's see what. So in law, so this is the legal definition or what have you, based on this website. It says in law, willful ignorance is when a person seeks to avoid civil or criminal liability for a wrongful act by intentionally keeping themselves unaware of facts that would render them liable or implicate. Outside of law, I know a lot of people that live their life like that. You probably do too. A lot of people currently in the world we live in, they live their life in willful ignorance, and maybe me and you to a lesser extent as well. But yeah, so in the context of plausible deniability, it says, so basically people, senior officials, formal or informal, will deny knowledge of responsibility or their actions, basically the actions of their members of their company or whatever it is that they working for, their gang, political association, church, what have you. They'll do this because of a lack of evidence that can directly connect them, basically. Or even if there is evidence, they'll do things personally to keep themselves ignorant, to basically remove themselves from that responsibility. It says, if illegal or otherwise disreputable and unpopular activities become public, high-ranking officials may deny any awareness of such acts to insulate themselves and shift the blame onto the agents who carried out the acts. So again, you're gonna hear me several times connect typically senior officials with in typically senior officials in formal or informal chain of command. So I take that to mean like again, that's your Fortune 500 guys. That's your high level business. That's we're capitalists. It's this what you're supposed to strive to be like. You know what I mean? This what you're supposed to step away from your family and the people that you done spent the better parts of your life with to try to be like, to try to emulate. You know what I mean? And a lot of them tend to have like for lack of a better word, narcissistic personalities. You know, you're supposed to want to be like them. This is like your celebrity lifestyle. That's the top of the hierarchy. And the people that hold the camera, the people that do the makeup, people that's behind the scenes, that's doing the editing, all of that type of stuff. That's that's not the senior official. That's the one that's taking orders and in unpopular activities. The high ranking official is the one that give the order. Very similar to a gang structure. So when I was growing up, when I was in like, you know what I mean, middle school, high school, it was real cool to like not just to know the names or the handshakes of gangs. It was the cool thing to do was to know as much without actually like physically putting yourself in danger. That was what again that was the hierarchy for middle school age me, early high school age me. That was the hierarchy for like the people that I was coming into contact with through the music we was listening to, the media that we would partake in. You know what I mean? You want to, it don't matter if you street in any way or not, you want to have some sort of connection to gang banging and the lifestyle and an understanding. And if you did proclaim to be a gang banger yourself, you know, it wasn't too many youngsters around me walking around pretending to be a high ranking official in the gang. My ultimate point is a lot of stuff that we did back in the day, again, myself included, but definitely, you know, people that was around me, people that I didn't necessarily idolize, you know, but happened to be in my same age group. There was a formal and an informal chain of command, you feel me, of the way that gangs carried themselves in the early 2000s. Let's say that we were all aware of. There was a structure. That was the word that kind of went around back then, that I can honestly say that was something that, you know, drew me in to my connections with gang members and that type of thing, was the structure behind it. So again, in the sense of all of this, what we're looking at right here, the name of the show, you know, this is this definition, this phrase, you know, whatever you want to call it, plausible deniability. This is something that I can't even tell you my first encounter with hearing this, but understanding what it meant. Like once I got a basic understanding of this, it kind of changed my mind on a lot of things. A lot of the things that we're in this particular generation, that we're, you know, set on a path of chasing and wanting to emulate. I just want to put out there, is very similar to gang structure, or vice versa, when you really have an understanding of things. And just knowing how similar, you know, the all of these upstanding members of society that, again, you supposed to want to be like, how similar the structure of how they structure their lives and the things that they do is it's the same willful ignorance that high level gangbangers live in. Of, you know, I can slang rocks and blows to the community. You know, we'll, and like how the young gangbangers living right now. You can't even really call them gangbangers at this point. You know what I mean? People that's just into their street life, you know. But on the young side, you know, it's like the structure is gone, um, but it's still the same. It's still the same groups kind of that influence all of this. So it's just funny to me again on the outside looking in at so many different walks of life. You know, I got all kind of different friends. I got friends that's again very street. I got plenty of other friends that went completely the book route. I got other friends that's like myself a mixture of a lot of things like that, you know. So it's just funny seeing the connections that you're not supposed to. Again, I kind of feel like the generation we in right now, the world that we live in right now, you supposed to be at odds with everybody around you. You're also supposed to label yourself. You're supposed to be a part of and I don't personally agree with this. I personally find this type of living disgusting, but again, I understand it, you know, pushed on us through media, through everything else. You're supposed to label yourself and be a part of one particular group and agree with all the ideology behind that one particular group, and you're not even supposed to conversate with other people. You're not supposed to converse. You definitely not supposed to agree with an opposing group and opposing label. You're not supposed to have anything in common with them. But again, where we're heading to, if not already there, you're not even supposed to be talking to them. So again, if you an upstanding member of society, you might as well click off because you're not supposed to be listening to this. If you are listening, you only supposed to be listening from a and I hate this word, you know, from a hater standpoint. You know what I mean? You're not supposed to be. There's no gray area, so you're not supposed to find things that you hear me say that you may agree with and disagree with other things. Cause I'll be the first one to tell you I'm not right about everything. Most definitely, you know. Um, it's gonna be things that you will hear me come back at later dates and correct myself on. Cause I'm the type of person I like to when I find out I've been wrong about something, I like to get in front of it and be the first one to let you know the people that I'm dealing with know that I was wrong about that, as opposed to somebody else come tell you. Then I got to deal with not only the act of being wrong, whatever it is, you know, big or small, but then uh, whatever other context was initially given to you, you know, from whoever else that I may or may not agree with. You know, I like to nip things in the bud. You feel me? I apologize for the tangent. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all, man. It's a lot on my mind again. It's been a long time coming to trying to put this, whatever we gonna call this thing. It's been a long time coming trying to put this together. And again, the format of this whole thing will change at a certain point in time. You know, we figuring things out, but I got to give a shout out to a specific somebody somebody I'm real close with. You know, she got a platform herself, and she don't even know this. I don't know. I just woke up in the middle of the night. Really, I've been having so many problems trying to put this thing together, and it's like all the years that I've done. You know, my background is making rap music. You feel me? Making rap music, explicit music, things of that nature. You know, I listen to all kind. I listen to everything but country my whole life. You know, so this is and I would say it's a lot of people around me, but definitely myself. You know, we've always been musically inclined. You know, I was writing music, getting in trouble for writing music, and again, explicit music back in elementary school, actually. You know, so this is something that I still struggle with, you know, in my personal life, kind of trying to turn away from a lot of that and a lot of the lifestyle that I led, you know, related to that. But I got to give just a personal shout out to, you know, somebody I rock with super hard that you know, her and her platform. She the first person that I know, you know, in my life that kind of took that initial step and put herself out there And really, I gotta say, just on a courage scale, she probably a lot more brave than I am. Just kind of again putting her personal story out there a little bit more. One day at a certain point, I get to that. I don't mind telling certain things about my journey, what I've been through, and that type of stuff. And I'm sure it's a lot we'll connect on once you guys get a better idea where I'm coming from with things. But I'm gonna keep it real with you again. I don't really have no specific direction with. I don't even know what to call this thing that I'm doing right here. This is I can't promise that this is always gonna be uplifting what we speak about on here. I definitely can't promise that it's always gonna be comical or nothing like that. Because again, I feel like it's a lot that needs to be addressed that I don't really see being addressed, and that's maybe my most direct my most direct reason for trying to put this together. So I guess getting back to a plausible deniability, right? That's the name of the show. That's the name of the pod. Why would I name this? Why would I name a show on my brand, plausible deniability? If y'all don't, and maybe some of y'all have been, reading a little bit more through this definition here. If y'all don't have like an understanding of how what we looking at right here, how this controls or influences just about everything, or everybody at the top of all of these different organizations that ultimately influence you. If you don't see that and that connection, if you don't see the just the lack of accountability in life, and again, my people in my age range and up, pre-internet babies, and the ones that actually remember them days, I'm gonna argue that this isn't how we were raised, bruh. Even though this is like a term from, I believe, like the 60s, something like that. You know what I mean? Okay, yeah, Harry Truman. Yeah, this is so from 48, the 50s. Yeah, they came up with this back then, and it's probably this ideal of plausible deniability, I'm sure, is way older than this right here. You feel me? But that's not how they raise kids, and I guess I'll say Western kids back in the day. But I'm sure, really, in most places, we were raised, even with all the other outside influences that we had on us. We were raised to take accountability and be responsible. So it's like looking at this in relation to senior officials, and let's just say in a formal chain of command in government, politics and business and the corporations that you work for, the monopolies of the different companies. It's only a couple small groups that through middleman, through subsidiaries, own the larger portions of everything and influence everything. I don't know how else to get you all to realize that, and it's kind of like, I guess ultimately it's the conflict of interest. This is again something that I was raised on. It's so many jobs that I've worked for, especially in my adult life, where like nepotism is rampant, fam. It's a lot of and this has been something I really haven't had the same opportunities to kind of take advantage of this, but this is something that I'm sure I would have done had I been raised in similar ways, where it's like, again, connecting things to some street aspects. You start a business and that business does well. whether you get kickbacks or you just got a good product, whatever the case, and your business does well, you expand. Now you in a corporation, you running a corporation, and you say, "I'm gonna put my mans on." That's what the street people would say. Let me put my mans on, and by that, your mans could be anybody. Your mans could be your sister. Your mans could be your wife, what have you. You feel me? I think just so few times, and maybe this is my own personal experience, but I don't know. Some of y'all that's watching this may resonate with this. You feel me? The owner of the company or the CEO of the company putting their mans on, they typically like don't take into account at all how that affects other people at the company, or how they man's gonna act at the company and how that affects other people at the company, or the product of the company, or the service of the company, or the consumer of the company. You feel me? So that's the type of stuff that's from my understanding, from the way I was raised, that's a conflict of interest, man. You got an interest in putting your mans on, but your consumer has an interest in getting the highest level of service, especially when we get into talk about inflation and the price of everything going up and that type of stuff. Typically, my experience, even from a inside the company employed standpoint, when the people running the company, their biggest interest or focus next to turning a profit is putting their mans on, especially when it's blatant, when it's y'all all family, y'all all got the same last name, you know, that type of thing. um I guess again, my personal experience, I haven't seen that work out for the interest of most of the other people involved in those, you know, transactional relationships. It worked out for you, and typically for your mans, until your mans cross the line, whether it's with you or with other employees or with customers, and then you got to make a tough decision in regard to your mans. And again, a lot of experiences I've had, the people in charge running the company or the corporation, you know, they're gonna make a decision to maintain profits and insulate their mans at all costs, whether that's the right thing to do or not, you know. So and again, you know, maybe that is the right thing to do, you know. Maybe keeping the business afloat, and whoever get harmed in the process, maybe that's maybe that's the way things need to go. Again, I don't personally agree with that, but so yeah, I'm sure at some point in time, man. I know I'm spending a lot of time right here, and again, this is kind of me getting some personal things off my chest, just because, fam, I've been trying to put this whole thing out, you know, this show. I've been trying to put this together and kind of put this out for some months, going on a year or so now. You feel me? And I've been working in the background. I've been doing other things. You know, I'm still doing other things, but this is kind of like this is real heavy on me. Especially I just woke up out of my sleep in the middle of the night. You know what I mean? And God put it on me. You know, I checked out that person close to me. You know, I checked out the platform that they had, really kind of for the first time, and knowing like it had been on my mind to do that for a while now. And just got a word that was like, I couldn't agree with her more, where it's like, you know, certain things you kind of, it ain't smart to run from God and what he calling you to do, you know. And again, I personally believe that. I'm gonna be real with y'all, man. You know, I got some beliefs in other episodes. You know, we gonna get further deeper into that. Um, a lot of y'all probably may not agree with it. I think a decent amount of y'all will agree with things that I have to say with most things, because it definitely ain't gonna be everything. It's gonna be people that's hopefully, you know, y'all use the comment section, whatever platform you listening to this on, you watching this on. You know, man, reach out to me, man, because I'm opinionated, you know what I mean? And I think for good reason, because I spend hours doing my research into things, you know, kind of before I put it out, even just to the people in my life. Um, I spend a lot of time kind of triple checking. I spend a lot of time, you know, just with an anxious mind, you feel me, second guessing myself on a lot of things. So I like to, you know, come correct when I do uh put my thoughts out there to the world, you know. But again, I'm not completely stuck in my ways where I can't be moved, but it's got to be with facts. You know what I mean? My opinions on things can be changed, but it's gotta be with facts. It's not really it's less about emotion to me and how certain things that I may say make you feel, whether that's in relation to religion, to education, to relationships, to music. I'm definitely super opinionated on the music, the entertainment business. You know, at this point, I think I've seen enough where can't nobody tell me nothing. You feel me? I've had enough experiences as far as, and I'm not gonna say I've been super deep in the in the celebrity industry. You know, whatever you want to call it, but I done definitely been one foot in, one foot out on a lot of things, and again, particularly relating to rap music. I done seen enough. You're not gonna be able to tell me nothing in regards to that. You feel me? And make it seem like any of that is roses and you know, whatever. It's a lot of games being played. It's a whole lot of idolatry, and that's probably one of the biggest things that, again, why I'm trying to put this together right here is if I can get one person to kind of just look at things different and don't end up wasting as many years as I did kind of chasing something where it's like once you get to the top, man, you got to be involved in this. And typically most people, whatever it is that you trying to do, you know, um you typically not going to be this level. You typically, if you talented and you work hard and you scratch the right people back, you will typically be like right under this level after years and years and years of work. And what do these people say happens to the people under this level? It says these people, the people running things, are going to deny awareness and insulate themselves and shift the blame onto the agents who carried out the act. So they going to shift the when it goes bad, they're going to shift the blame onto you, the one who was really talented the whole time and worked their way in. Again, you may not agree with this. I'm going to argue based on all the information that we all have readily available to us. If you do enough looking, enough digging, a lot of these people tend to be related. Just like a lot of the small time jobs I've worked at, just like a lot of the small time jobs you've worked at, uh, just like at the career that you built for yourself or you're currently building for yourself. If you're not an entrepreneur, and again, even if you are, to be honest with you, I'm saying maybe like 85-90% of fields that you are doing your entrepreneur work in, the high ranking officials that you have to deal with, that you have to get to sign off on things, that type of stuff, they're related to each other. They don't typically tell you that. That's usually not in the commercial. That's usually not in the job pitch. You feel me? They usually don't say that in the interview. Again, my opinion, personally, conflict of interest. You feel me? But you know, who am I? So I don't know, man. It's the first episode. You feel me? I know this getting kind of long, so we gonna shut this down. Shut this down soon. You feel me? Um, like I say, I'm trying to pull the format together. I'm open to you know, opinions on the best way to do this, because as you can hear in the background, I got some notes here. I really do have a lot, and it's I ain't gonna hold y'all, man. You feel me? It's gonna get overwhelming some of these episodes, so I'm trying to find the best way to kind of break things down, um, where I can add, a little bit of my personality. You feel me? A little bit of comedy to things, but at the same time, like I do have some very excuse me, I do have some very specific topics, that I wanna get into, and it's gonna be a lot of things where it's like, fam, hey, this gonna be an open discussion. You feel me? It's not gonna be one size fits all. And I'm telling you, whoever this is that's listening to this, you feel me? You're not gonna agree with everything that I have to say, or just everything that I bring to the table. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. It's probably gonna be, you feel me? It's probably a disclaimer at the beginning of this and every episode, because again, it's a lot of internet games that get played when you look at who we dealing with here. You feel me? The different platforms that we dealing with, it be a lot of internet games that get played. So I'm trying to. That's been part of what's been holding this whole thing back for so long. It's been I'm not into the games really. I really, that's not. It's a big part of why I don't do music anymore. You know what I mean? It's a big part of why I stepped away from a lot of things. People that again know me personally, that was around me personally. I never was a big drinker, but smoked a lot of weed, fam. Smoked a lot of weed and did a lot of stuff related to smoking weed, having weed around different a very specific set of different other drugs. You feel me? And it was for some years out of my life. You feel me? So I'm thankful that it's been something that, like, uh I can say without really anything other than God kind of making a way for me. I done stepped away from all of that. I'm at a point where it's like I got my little nicotine vape. You feel me? And the last couple of days, it's been I've been looking at this thing, ready to put that down fully, and that's really like my last um major vice. You feel me? That's a waste of money, something that, it's not necessary ultimately. You feel me? And in the same way, that's kind of how I feel about the drugs. It's not I'm not knocking nobody that, you do what you do. But I do think we all, kind of have a path that you work your way through, and at a certain point, if given the right resources, you can kind of step away from certain things that it may be harmful to you, in ways that you don't think about it as. I could definitely say smoking weed, that type of thing, it was cool to me in a lot of ways, definitely in creating music or just being creative in general. It also I wouldn't even say that it made me in particular, that it made me lazy. I know that's a big go-to that a lot of people that's against it or run to. You know what I mean? Uh, I think ultimately, like a lot of other things that we have available to us, and if you're a certain age, you have an understanding of, like, the weed being legalized. Over the last 10 years, how that's gone, and I will argue it's a big change in excuse me, in a product that's available, and it's not the same thing. You know what I mean? That's something else that I definitely, have on my list here to get into at a later time, but that's, way low on the list. We got bigger fish to fry. You feel me? So I'm gonna probably go ahead and cut this short. You feel me? We at just about 40 minutes, so I guess that's cool for the so-called first episode. You feel me? Plausible deniability, man. I appreciate y'all, man. I'm out.